Number one, I'm JD Kimbrell. My son's name is William Kimbrell. Uh, we live in Oklahoma, Lawton, Oklahoma, near Fort Sill. When I was a young Marine, I had a rare and unique opportunity to serve in the U.S. Marine Drum and Bugle Corps. That's in Washington, D.C. And around 1991, I found myself participating in a performance on a Navy aircraft carrier. It was called the USS Intrepid, and it was docked in New York Harbor. And I wasn't initially aware that the ship was privately owned and it was the Sea, Air, and Space Museum. I probably didn't care. And I had the opportunity to shake hands and meet with the owner of that ship because they were there. We were there to perform for a fundraising gala, and it was his ship, So the guest speaker that evening was President Ronald Reagan, former President Ronald Reagan. That's why I remember it so well. And the owner of that boat was, of course, Mr. Zachary Fisher. And we were there to raise funds for the Fisher House. So in February of this year, our family life was changed pretty drastically. If you don't think it can happen to you, it can. And by the Almighty, it happened to us for sure. So at about 6 a.m. on February 11th, I received a phone call. And the guy on the other end said, "Sir, my name is Commander Christensen, and I'm the public affairs officer for Naval Air Station Sigonella. Your son is in an Italian hospital in critical condition, and his prognosis is very poor." So he had suffered seizures, which didn't stop, and those seizures led to a cardiac arrest, and he was gone from this life for more than 10 minutes. And he suffered a very severe and permanent anoxic brain injury due to the amount of time that he wasn't breathing, obviously. So back up. My son is an active duty sailor. He's stationed in Catania, Italy, on the island of Sicily. So when we got the news, my wife and I got on a plane. We flew to Catania as fast as we could. We got there. We got to the hospital right away, and we could tell as soon as we saw him that the prognosis was very poor. He was in bad shape. And he was in intensive care in that Italian hospital for 10 days. The Navy wanted to move him, and they wanted to transfer him to the U.S. Army Hospital in Landstuhl, Germany. And so while we were in Germany, that was our first experience with the Fisher House. And of course, it was weird to us getting to another Fisher House because the one we stayed in there in Germany looked exactly like the one we stayed in the United States, right? We had no idea. We were very tired and we were taken aback by the situation. I don't think we really had time to appreciate where we were, but we knew for sure we were very grateful to be able to stay there, and we didn't have to pay. It would have been a terrible financial burden. So we were in Germany for 3 days. They loaded up our son and us on a military C-17. They flew us to Andrews Air Force Base, and we stayed at the Fisher House on Bethesda Naval Medical Center. Our son was still in a coma in the ICU at Walter Reed. And then after a while, reality kind of set in, and we were able to appreciate being at the Fisher House. And at the time, we even said to each other, this place is the biggest blessing we could have imagined at the time. We had one doctor in Germany before we left tell us that your son's not going to live another 30 days. And so we had to make some choices. And the best choice we made was we weren't going to believe that doctor. And so, because we believe that the Almighty is the ultimate healer, right? And the Fisher House and the people who lived there with us for nearly 3 months gave us the confidence we needed to believe in our choice, honestly. And the Fisher House there, the dynamic was really something special. Every single person there was there because of a tragedy in their life. And so they completely understood what we were going through. And you really do make lifelong friends, I think, if not new family members in some special way. So we transferred to the Fisher House in San Antonio, but about 2 weeks before we knew we were transferring to San Antonio, the Fisher House in San Antonio contacted us and said, "Hey, we know you're coming. We'll have everything ready for you." And man, they did. It was great. This Fisher House was just a little bit different than the one at Walter Reed in that we didn't have to pay for anything uh, in San Antonio, the one run by the VA. Food was all taken care of. If and there was even a list on the wall. If there was something you wanted, write it down and they would go get it. So the only thing we had to do was be at our son's bedside to be able to take care of him. If we suggested something that we wanted, they made it happen. And if we suggested something that we thought might be pretty cool, they made that happen too, you know? So as far as Fisher houses go, the one at Walter Reed was very special because that's where we really figured out what the Fisher House is all about. But the one in San Antonio, now that place was a true blessing. And that's true. And I'll never forget that place, honestly. The irony of meeting Mr. Fisher so many years ago is finally means something to me at the moment. And so my son has since been discharged from that hospital and he's doing well. He's talking, he's feeding himself, he's starting to walk better. He's even starting to think about the future. He's still got a long way to go, but he's moving forward tiny steps every day. And I know in my heart that his recovery is in no small part to the fact that his mom and his dad could be by his bedside and not have to worry about anything else. I believe if we couldn't have been able to do that, his situation would look much different than it does at the moment. So in my personal opinion, the Fisher House equals hope, and that's the Lord's honest truth.